faithfully delivering value and exploring great books from around the world. Hello, this is Sally's Book Talk. Today I'm breaking down the book called Give Up Dieting. I lost 60 gin. Have you ever been on a diet? What are some good weight loss tips you can share? Feel free to leave your comments below. A 2020 report on nutrition and chronic diseases in China shows that 50.7% of adults are overweight or obese. This can cause appearance anxiety and lead to serious health issues like high blood pressure and high cholesterol. With obesity comes the focus on weight loss. Just search online for weight loss methods, and you'll find entries like the ketogenic diet and the 21-day diet. These methods all share a common point: eat less, move more, and persistence leads to success. This guideline sounds simple, but it needs strong willpower to stick with. But if everyone could keep it up, there wouldn't be so many people struggling with obesity. I, in fact, persistence means forcing yourself to do something you don't want to, which goes against human nature. And even if you can stick with it for a week, a month, or longer, can you keep it up for decades? You might say, after losing weight successfully, I can go back to normal life. But the author believes it's your so-called normal life that causes obesity. And even if you lose weight, you'll likely gain it back. The author Lu Tian once weighed nearly 200 jin. He lost 60 jin in 300 days. Since June 2015, he has written and published nearly 700,000 words on healthy weight loss across major social platforms, with over 15 million cumulative reads, influencing hundreds of thousands of people's views on dieting. Many people have benefited from this. He later compiled his social media articles and published this book, Give Up Dieting, I Lost 60 Pounds. This book offers a new weight loss philosophy, helping you reach your ideal weight without relying on willpower while enjoying food and loving life. Next, I'll cover the main content of this book in two parts. First, what is the author's new philosophy on weight loss? Secondly, what are the specific methods for weight loss? First, let's talk about what the author's new philosophy on weight loss is in part one. Before we officially start, let me ask you a question. Do you really need to lose weight? To evaluate whether someone needs to lose weight, you can refer to the body mass index, or BMI. The formula for BMI is weight divided by height squared. For example, if your weight is 55 kilograms and height is 1.65 meters, then your BMI is 20.2. The normal range is between 18.5 and 24. You only need to lose weight if your BMI exceeds 24. You might say, my BMI is in the normal range, but why do I still feel dissatisfied with my body? If that's the case, what you need is not weight loss, but body shaping and fat reduction. For friends who are not overweight, you can certainly pursue a better physique through diet control and exercise, but the author believes this goes beyond the scope of weight loss. Therefore, this book doesn't cover these topics. But regardless of whether your BMI is normal, I hope you can accept yourself in any state. Perhaps you fantasize that your life will be completely new after successful weight loss. But you need to understand that losing weight doesn't mean reaching the peak of life. There are so many thin people in the world. So after successfully losing weight, living as a thin person is actually quite mundane. So please don't over-expect. After hearing this, please think rationally again. Do you really want to lose weight? There can be countless motivations for weight loss, but if it goes against physical and mental health, it's meaningless. Okay, if you're sure you really want to lose weight, then listen to the following content. Perhaps, in your inherent perception, successful weight loss requires strong willpower. Weight loss failure is only blamed on not persisting to the end. But if someone told you that weight loss doesn't require willpower and you can eat what you want, how would you react? Don't rush to refute. This isn't saying that eating less and moving more is wrong. It's just that those who can stick with it would have slimmed down already. But this inability to persist is only for a few. It's the norm for ordinary people. Next, please think about what your goal for weight loss is. Your ultimate goal is to continue living as a less overweight person. Let's temporarily call this a thin person. Strict diet control and regular intense exercise are not the normal life of most thin people. In the weight loss world, there's a famous saying, discipline brings freedom. But actually, truly thin people aren't disciplined at all. They exercise regularly simply because they've formed the habit and enjoy it. They put down their chopsticks just because they're full and don't want to eat more. These behaviors have nothing to do with self-discipline. They're just naturally doing what they want to do. Thin people don't feel guilty for occasionally overeating, nor do they binge after dieting. And they certainly don't exercise with resentment. So you see, being thin is related to mindset and lifestyle habits. They live a more free-spirited and healthier life. If you want to be thin, you have to learn to live like a thin person. You must believe that weight loss failure isn't your lack of willpower or unscientific methods, but because you always want quick results and ignore your own feelings. Setting exercise and diet plans beyond your capacity makes weight loss unsustainable, even if you slim down. Once you return to your original diet, you'll fall into the vicious cycle of regaining weight and dieting again. Therefore, the key to successful weight loss isn't strong willpower in the short term, but whether it can be sustained as long as possible.
How long can you sustain eating diet food you dislike and doing exercises you hate?
Thus, weight loss isn't about being as fast as possible. To become truly thin, you need to slow down. Extend your time frame, let go of anxiety, calm your mind, and give up unreasonable demands on yourself. This is also the core idea of the book's title, Give Up Dieting. In your past weight loss experiences, what time frame did you set for yourself? Maybe 1 week, 21 days, or 3 months. But the author's advice is to have no expectations. If you must have one, make it 300 days. Compared to various online weight loss tutorials, this does sound slow, but think about it. In the span of your entire life, 300 days is truly insignificant. With a relaxed time frame, it's easier to calm your mind, ease up on demands, make weight loss more enjoyable, and thus more sustainable. Actually, there's scientific basis for why weight loss shouldn't be too fast. In the human brain, there's a structure called the hypothalamus. Some scientists believe the hypothalamus keeps your weight in a relatively stable range. When you diet to lose weight quickly, the hypothalamus will conserve energy by increasing absorption and reducing consumption. For example, originally you had to eat 2 bowls of rice to absorb 200 calories, but now just 1 bowl is enough. Originally, running 5 kilometers would burn 400 calories, but now it only burns 200. So rapid weight loss triggers the body's self-regulation, making you more prone to regain weight after resuming normal eating. Whereas losing weight slowly allows both your brain and body to gradually adapt, leading to lasting slimness and health. At the same time, precisely because of the body's self-regulation, weight loss methods that rely on calorie counting to create a deficit aren't scientific either. When you eat too little, your body conserves energy, but occasionally overeating has the opposite effect. So when you eat an extra piece of braised pork belly, there's no need to run 3 kilometers to burn off those extra calories. The author's new philosophy of weight loss doesn't require persistence conflicts with the old belief that weight loss must be persisted to the end. In the following explanation, there might be many ideas that challenge your existing beliefs. But when you hear these viewpoints, I hope you won't rush to dismiss them. Instead, think carefully and step out of your comfort zone before drawing conclusions. Now let's introduce part 2. What are the author's specific weight loss methods? Regardless of the weight loss philosophy, it always involves 2 aspects: exercise and diet. The author advocates for micro-goal exercise and following your natural appetite, proposing the record-keeping diet based on this philosophy. The record-keeping diet has 6 stages. As you progress, the content you record gradually increases. First is stage 0, weight recording. It's called stage 0 because you don't necessarily have to record your weight. If weight fluctuations affect your mood, Don't measure frequently. The sole purpose of weight tracking is to give you a sense of achievement, not anxiety. But if it doesn't affect your mood, you can measure your weight and waist circumference and take front and side photos of yourself. Compile the data in a notebook every 15 days. The first stage of the record-keeping diet is micro-goal exercise. Micro-goal exercise means a very simple daily exercise plan that you can complete effortlessly. The goal is to build an exercise habit, focus more on the joy of movement, and make weight loss sustainable, not about achieving quick results. When making weight loss plans, people often overlook their actual capabilities in their rush to slim down quickly. In past weight loss attempts, you might have planned to do an hour of aerobics daily. But the problem is, this might be doable when you're full of energy, but what about after working late into the night when you're exhausted? You probably won't want to exercise then. It's so your plan gets postponed once, twice, and eventually abandoned. Instead, why not start with a goal that's psychologically acceptable, easy to execute, time efficient, and doesn't require willpower? A micro goal. Now think, what exercise could be a micro goal for you? Okay, perhaps you already have an answer in mind, like running 1 kilometer daily or doing 3 sets of push-ups, etc.
Can you complete this plan right now?
You might say, hey, I'm listening to this audiobook now. I'll do it later. Or I'm already in my pajamas. I'll exercise tomorrow. If so, it just means your goal isn't micro enough. Then what exercise qualifies? He offered it an example. 1 push-up per day.
Yes, you heard right. You might be calculating how little energy one push-up burns, thinking, weight loss from just one daily push-up? Is this a joke?
But remember, the purpose of a goal is to be achieved. Unachievable goals are just challenges. Your goal is 1 push-up daily, but that doesn't mean you can't do more. You can always exceed it anytime.
If you can't even do that, your goal still isn't small enough.
When setting micro goals, note 3 things. First, make it daily. Repetition in short cycles helps form habits through consistent behavior. This reduces resistance to starting exercise each time. Second, be extremely specific, e.g., run 1 minute daily, not just exercise. Third, keep concurrent micro goals under 3, including non-exercise daily life goals, like reading 1 minute daily. Fewer goals mean higher completion rates, potential overachievement, and sustainable motivation. This builds habits. For exercise types, the author recommends home-based strength training. For example, crunches, push-ups, squats, body weight exercises, dumbbells, etc. Because compared to aerobic exercise, this type of exercise isn't restricted by location. You can start or stop anytime, making it more flexible. The time required for exercise is shorter, making it easier to meet daily goals. Plus, strength training increases muscle mass, boosting your metabolism and helping you develop an easy to slim physique. At this stage of recording, you only need to note 3 things: date, consecutive days completed, and micro goal exercise status. Additionally, you can record a 4th item, the positive feeling after exercise, like how light sweating feels refreshing. It's recommended to follow this stage for at least a week before moving to the next stage. Stages 2 to 5 of the record-keeping diet focus on dietary changes corresponding to 5 eating principles the author calls the natural eating method. Stage 2 is about listening to your body's signals, applying the first principle of the natural eating method. In terms of eating, humans have evolved over millennia to have a basic ability to seek benefits and avoid harms. For instance, if you drink spoiled milk, you'll spit it out. If you overeat, you'll feel full and stop. If a meal is too greasy, you'll choose lighter food next time. Eating, as a core physiological need, has a built-in system that tells you what, how, and how much to eat, sensed instinctively, not through logic. So, when eating, don't count calories. Trust your instincts instead. Whether you're full is up to your gut, not a number. Many envy thin people for stopping when full, but it's just because they trust their body's signals better, leading to natural reactions. This is thin person mode. When you binge eat, your gut actually sends discomfort signals early on, But driven by stress or negative emotions, you ignore them, turning eating into emotional venting instead of enjoyment. Over time, after getting used to it, you become less sensitive to your gut feelings. Therefore, the first thing to learn is sensing your body's signals, like full, bloated, stuffed, or greasy, just like thin people do. What you should pay attention to is whether you're satisfied with what you eat. Stopping should be because continuing would reduce satisfaction and increase physical discomfort.
Not because of calorie restrictions.
You need to gradually learn to correctly and reasonably meet your body's actual needs through continuous practice. At this stage, add 2 more entries to your notebook: lunch fullness level and dinner fullness level. If you eat breakfast, you can also record breakfast fullness level along with other positive changes you notice. The author categorizes fullness from 90% to 130% full. 90% means almost satisfied, 100% means just right, satisfied, and comfortable.
110% full means slightly stuffed, 120% means very stuffed, and 130% means uncomfortably stuffed.
The same amount of food creates different fullness levels for different people. Just go by your own personal feelings. At first, your perception of fullness might not be accurate, but that's perfectly fine. The focus here is simply guiding you to notice your body's signals. Don't pressure yourself to hit exactly 100% full. Overeating is normal, just record it objectively. Continue the stage for at least a week before moving to the third stage, the 100% full insight. This stage applies the second principle of the natural eating method. If you overeat, let it go. During past weight loss attempts, have you ever experienced this? Being ravenously hungry or having intense cravings, or something tasted so amazing that you gorged yourself until stuffed, then plunged into guilt and self-blame for lacking control. You might think losing control means you failed to persist, but actually, it's not your fault. When you rely on persistence and willpower, you're often in a state of suffering and unhappiness. Escaping pain quickly is human instinct. Forcibly controlling instinct inevitably leads to losing control. So you don't need to restrain your eating because you naturally can't and don't need to. Having extra bites of food you love is no big deal. Overeating is no big deal. Everyone overeats sometimes. The only difference between you and thin people is how often they overeat. Therefore, learn self-compassion. Don't feel guilt or shame about overeating to avoid the cycle of stricter control followed by rebound binging. At the same time, you can reflect on overeating experiences to figure out what would have been just enough, learning more about your stomach's capacity. At this stage, add daily lunch and dinner 100% full insights to your records. For example, if lunch was a Big Mac, chicken wings, nuggets, and Coke making you 130% full, you might realize skipping nuggets and less Coke would have made it 100% full. Record? 100% full equals Big Mac plus wings plus 80% Coke. Regularly review your notebook. By revisiting past entries, you'll develop more 100% full meal plans. Stage 4 is the food inventory. Applying principles 3 and 4. Allow all foods and follow true appetite. Doesn't uncontrolled eating prevent weight loss? Not really. Your goal is becoming someone who eats normally and naturally. So, avoid all forced unnatural eating rules. You might see thin people eat small portions, assume overeating causes weight gain, and restrict yourself. But consider, maybe you eat more because your larger body needs more energy, not vice versa. Appetite is desire. When denied or poorly satisfied, it rebounds stronger, like skipping dinner to diet, then craving snacks and eating more than a meal. Following true appetite means eating what you genuinely want while proactively choosing health, not enforcing control. Otherwise, even perfect meals keep you in overweight mode. So how to proactively eat healthy? This stage requires behavioral change. Savor each bite, ask if it tastes good, build your personal food preference database. When eating truly desired foods, willpower becomes irrelevant. This teaches you to satisfy appetite wisely. For example, if you love eating fried chicken until stuffed, you need to distinguish whether you enjoy its actual taste or if it's just a habitual choice or the thrill of rebelliously consuming high-calorie food. Think carefully. For many dieters, it's probably more of the latter. In your notebook, add two lists: taste great and tasteless foods. For instance, if you have delicious grilled meat, record it under taste great and describe why it's good, like a food critic. Or if you eat fried chicken and find it bland with greasy crust after chewing carefully, record it under tasteless foods. Every 15 days, summarize both categories on a blank page to refine your food preferences. Eliminate foods you habitually choose but don't truly enjoy.
This stage should last at least 1 month.
You might ask, what if allowing yourself to eat reveals you genuinely love junk food? It's fine. Weight loss doesn't require loving boiled broccoli. Many thin people enjoy junk food. The focus is how you eat, not what. Without habitual or emotional eating patterns, even with permission, you won't overindulge every meal. If you truly love fried chicken, after 1 or 2 full meals, you'll instinctively avoid greasy food. You might not even want to see fried chicken for days. Remember the first eating principle? You inherently self-regulate, so you won't keep gaining weight. Stage 5. Leave 1 bite daily. Applying principle 5. Eat by need. Ask while eating, do I need this now? Respect your actual needs. Eat because you want to, not because food is available. As fullness increases mid-meal, food desire naturally decreases. When full, ask, do I need this bite right now? If eating this bite brings more satisfaction, go ahead and eat it. If you don't want to eat anymore but keep going just to avoid waste, it's best to stop eating because waste already happened when you bought too much food. That extra food won't bring joy or fulfill its purpose. It'll just upset your stomach. So at this stage, leave behind non-essential food you don't need after feeling satisfied. Leaving 1 bite daily is a micro goal. Anytime during the day, leaving 1 unnecessary bite of meal, snack, or drink counts as completion. To reduce temptation and eat by need, respect immediate needs when shopping. Don't overbuy snacks just for discounts. Watching TV could be pure enjoyment, but knowing snacks are home, you eat. After meals, you could eat nothing, but knowing snacks are home, you eat anyway, etc. Thus, you end up mindlessly eating completely unnecessary food. This concludes the record-keeping diet. Remember, recording is just guidance, helping you notice eating patterns, body signals, understanding fullness versus stuffed. Discover how much food you truly need. Gradually ditch calories and energy balance concepts, enjoy food, and satisfy appetite appropriately. Once you master this, recording becomes unnecessary. Also, expect temporary weight gains or plateaus during weight loss. This is normal. Don't panic. For a 300-day plan, a few days' fluctuation won't affect the outcome. In real life, the author's philosophy has indeed helped many succeed. But many oppose it too. Some misunderstand it out of context. Others feel it lacks scientific backing. But if years of scientific methods haven't helped you slim down, maybe try shifting your mindset. As Kafka wrote in The Castle, when you try hard to get something, staying calm and realistic lets you achieve it effortlessly. But if you try too hard, make too much fuss, act childishly or inexperiencedly, crying, grabbing, like a kid yanking a tablecloth, you gain nothing. You just pull all the good things off the table onto the floor, losing them forever. Weight loss is the same. Calm your mind, accept yourself, listen to your inner feelings. Slimming down becomes a natural outcome. Genetics may influence body size, but developing natural healthy habits can transform you from obesity-prone to naturally slim. After today's talk, what's your new perspective on weight loss? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. Well, give up dieting, lost 60 pounds. That concludes our book breakdown. Find study notes below the audio. See you next time.